Well, this three-city road trip, which started in Chicago, will end here in St. Louis. The first of a four-game series, the Cubs and the Cardinals, already their third series here in 2014. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs just got swept in Atlanta. Never easy here in St. Louis. The Cubs dropped 2 of 3 in April in this ballpark. But we're going to focus on Anthony Rizzo, the Cubs facing a left-handed starter. And that has been a real bright spot this year, Rizzo versus lefties.
Yeah, much improved in terms of the numbers and certainly the approach better, too. Anthony Rizzo last year against left-handed pitching really struggled. There were a lot of rollover, weak ground balls to the right side of the infield. This year he's been willing to use the whole field, left field, center field, not only getting his base hits, but also driving the ball, on occasion hitting the ball out of the ballpark against the southpaw. So a significant turnaround in Anthony Rizzo's game this year versus last, particularly against the left-handed pitchers.
And it'll be Tyler Lyons on the mound for the Cardinals, who come in at 500. Now, the mitigating circumstances, they've had a ton of road games. They're going to be home essentially for the next 3 weeks. But offensively, JD, some of the guys last year who had big years off to slow starts.
Well, this Cardinal club led the National League in runs scored last year. This year, they're 11th in the 15-team league. And here's a good look at the reason why. Alan Craig has really struggled. Last year, hit .454 with runners in scoring position, .233 so far this year. Matt Holliday has not found his power stroke, slugging well below his norm. And Matt Carpenter, who was maybe the best leadoff man in the league last year, has had his struggles as well.
So it'll be the first of 4. By the end of this series, these two teams will have played 10 times already this year. And a guy who beat the Cardinals 2 starts ago, Travis Wood, will take the ball tonight as the Cubs look to end a 3-game losing streak. Cubs and Cards from St. Louis next.
part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T U-verse. AT&T U-verse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, so far, it's a lovely night here in St. Louis. We may get some rain later, and rain could be in the forecast pretty much every day of this series. But let's hope for no rain, at least for game. Night game last night, and they were able to salvage a finale of that series against the Pirates. Trevor Rosenthal loaded the bases, gave up a run in the ninth inning, was just hanging on by a thread with a one-run lead, and he got a 1-2-3 double play ball off the bat of Jordy Mercer as the Cardinals found a way to survive and get back to the 500 mark.
And the celebration in the dugout as if they had won a playoff series. In danger of being swept by the Pirates, having a hard time scoring runs are the Cardinals. But they feel like this is their time now to make it happen. 19 of the next 22 here in their home ballpark.
Yeah, and the road series will be in Cincinnati, so they don't have to travel very far the rest of this month of May, as left-hander Tyler Lyons will make his first career start against the Chicago Cubs. And let's check out the Cubs Southwest starting lineup that will face him. Bonifacio's been struggling here as of late. He's been really good, however, right-handed this year. Junior Lake is in left. Rizzo, Castro, Alt, and Castillo in the middle. Nate Scherholtz in the lineup, batting seventh tonight against the lefty. Darwin Barney's at second. And the pitcher Travis Wood hitting ninth.
Kia presents a look at the Cardinal defense tonight. A lot of speed in center with Peter Borges. Not so much in left and right with Holiday and Craig. Carpenter, Peralta, Ellis, Adams, third to first. Perennial Gold Glover, Yadier Molina behind the plate for our Lexus starting pitcher for the Cardinals tonight. 26-year-old left-hander Tyler Lyons. He's pitched 5 times, 3 times as a starter, a couple times out of the pen, 0-2 with a 3.43. A 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, change, and a curve. Not an overpowering guy, just needs to mix his pitches, keep the ball down to find success. And he's been pretty good. He doesn't have a win yet here, but the other numbers are solid for him.
Sean Barber will work home plate. Will Little over at first base. Mark Carlson, Joliet, Illinois native at second, and the crew chief is Ted Barrett at third.
Is it me, or does there seem to be a lot of turnover in the umpiring ranks these days? Or are there just a lot of vacation replacements? Because we're seeing a lot of guys we've never seen before.
I would agree. Hey, if tonight's Cubs leadoff hitter gets a base hit, Binny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. Bonifacio as the first batter of the game with a .452 on base percentage as he looks at a fastball for strike one.
It almost looked like a little high and away. That looked like a good pitch. I think we're even.
You're keeping tabs on all the missed calls. So that's 2 of them?
No. Oh. Well, but it evened out in my theory.
That'll be a fair ball, and that'll benefit JDRF. Compliments of Binny's Beverage Depot. Another $100 courtesy of Emilio Bonifacio.
Was it double for a double?
That's not a bad idea, but I can't speak for them.
You don't want to provide that matching grant? No, sharply hit and a good start for Bonifacio. Throughout his career has been better from the right side of the plate.
.81 degrees as we get started. Now Junior Lake just bunted through strike one.
Yeah, he's just trying to push that ball to the right side to advance Bonifacio. And with his speed, if he gets a good bunt down, he might get a base hit out of it. He's had a lot of empty trips to home plate lately. He's been striking out a lot, so you can kind of see what he's thinking, trying to do a little something here to help the ball club push this runner along.
Strike called. It's quickly 0-2. Lyons is from Texas, born in Lubbock, went to Oklahoma State. 6'4", 200 pounds. Fourth start with the big league club. He started the year at AAA. He's in Joe Kelly's spot. Kelly on the DL, 1-2.
Had a cup of coffee with the Cardinals last year. Performed well while up. Very good pitching staff here in St. Louis. The starters have been outstanding. They have the second best ERA in the league. This fella here, Lyons, was a 9th round pick in 2010.
Gets a sign from his catcher Molina. Here's the pitch, way high.
Cubs did not do a lot of hitting in Atlanta. When they did, they failed to take advantage of some opportunities.
Cubs have dropped 7 of their last 8 after winning 3 in a row. Off the end of the bat, but it'll go to the right side as Ellis will pick it up, and he's late by half a step. Bonifacio at third with 1 out.
Good hustle by Lake, but Ellis thought it would be just a routine play at first base. Lake able to make it a little bit closer, and he got his job done. You see the changeup grip, and that ball fading away from Lake, and he just punches it to second base. Gets Bonifacio over to third, and you got to cash this one in. Infield in for the Cardinals. Interesting. This situation, a lot of managers will keep the infield back, concede that run for fear of giving up a big inning.
Rizzo's OPS 948 against lefties. That's unbelievably good for a left-handed hitter.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of what he's doing is hitting the ball in the middle of the diamond. A lot to center field, more to left field than last year. Last year he grounded, rolled over, and hit a lot of ground balls to the right side, as I talked about in the open. And you know, if they continue to shift him with righties on the mound, I wonder if he'll change his approach there too.
He's got a big hole over there between short and third. That ball gets past Molina, and the Cubs get a cheap run. They'll gladly take it. I don't know if there was a cross-up, but you rarely see that happen to Yadier Molina. Just missed location, it looked like.
Missed location, and Yadi just a little late reacting.
So a passed ball charged to Molina. Bonifacio double. Moved to third on the ground out, and then scored on the passed ball. Now 1-2 on Rizzo.
Well, they do shift, and he had an idea of trying to just push one over there towards third base for a base hit.
Here's a 1-2, and he does punch it out in the left for a base hit. Rizzo's aboard.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about right there. You know, his approach, not just against lefties, but overall has been so good this year. Willing to go the other way, shorten the stroke with 2 strikes. You know how quiet the lower body is. That front side just stays locked down, and he uses his hands to play a little pepper with Matt Holliday out there in left. Doing his best Rod Carew.
The cleanup hitter Starlin Castro outside, ball 1. Reds haven't even gotten settled into their seats, and the Cubs have an early lead. They'd love to tack on here in the opening inning. That's a strike. 1-1. Cardinals' opening stretch of 26 of 38 on the road was a first in their franchise history since 1927. Last time they had played that many road games, their first 38 of the year. That is a fair ball. And it gets by Alan Craig. Rizzo's going to score. Castro around second on his way to third. 2-0 Cubs.
Well, that'll go as an RBI triple for Starlin Castro, as Alan Craig couldn't handle the carom out there in right field. Right down the line it goes past the diving Matt Adams. Kicking around like a pinball, and Craig thought it was going to head into the corner, so he wanted to cut it off before it got there. And the bounce got him. There goes the bear. Look at the big bear chugging hard around the bags.
Infield pulled in again. This time against Mike Olt. And he drives one to right. Craig goes back. He's at the wall. It is gone. A 2-run homer, and it's 4-0 Cubs.
Cubs have just hit for the cycle here in the top half of the first. Mike Olt providing the long ball, his 8th. Wow, what an inning. Tyler Lyons would love a mulligan. Somewhere in that dugout, Jeff Samardzij's going, wait a minute, boys, what about me? Ford home run replay, that's a cookie. That's a fastball right there. And we've seen Olt do this a couple of times now. Hammer that ball the other way.
Number 8 for Mike Olt. Double, ground out, single, triple homer. Fourth homer in Olt's last 6 games. He had homered in 3 in a row at one point.
Taking over the club RBI lead now. Good changeup.
Cardinals arrived pretty late after the night game last night. They were hoping to get settled in here at home for a long stretch, but the Cubs not letting them do that here in the first inning as Castillo grounds out. 2 outs. Comes Nate Sherholtz, game tying 2-run double in the 4th yesterday in Atlanta. The only tallies the Cubs would get the whole day. Doubled that output here in the first inning tonight. Curveball misses up and in. Happiest guy in the yard's got to be the pitcher, right? Travis Wood.
Oh, yeah. He feels like a winner right now. I mean, he's going to get it, but you get 4 for you in the first. It's a game you feel like you should be able to lock down for your club.
He struck him out. But a big first for the Cubs. Bonifacio, the spark plug. Castro tripling home Rizzo, and then Mike Olt goes to the opposite field. 2-run homer, and they lead 4-0. Cubs 4-0 before they even bat. Now their Southwest starting lineup last year averaged 4.8 runs per game. This year under 3.7. We mentioned Carpenter, numbers down from last year. He'll probably be all right. Johnny Peralta's been red hot. Holiday in left, only 2 home runs here early on. Matt Craig is starting to heat up after a very slow month of April. Molina hitting .304, Adams .310. Peter Borges back in the lineup on somewhat of a regular basis. Mark Ellis, the second baseman. And the pitcher Lyons batting 9th.
Who's where for the Cubs? Presented by Kia. Lake Bonifacio Shearholz cover the outfield. Olt, Castro, Barney, Rizzo around the diamond. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. Travis Wood, he's 2-4 with a .475 through 7 starts. He struggled on the road, especially last time out. 0-3 with an 8.80 ERA and 3 road starts this year.
Here we go. Travis Wood to Matt Carpenter, and right down the middle at the knees. Carpenter hitting .345 over his last 7 games. One way to look at the Cardinals' struggles, JD, is as inconsistent as they've been. They've been .500. So if this is their, quote, bad stretch, the track records of a lot of their hitters would say they should be okay. Yeah,
and there had to be, you know, this runners in scoring position number that we talk about. There had to be some aggression there. What they did last year was pretty much historic. They hit .330 as a club, and that's not really a teachable skill or repeatable skill. You knew they had to come back to the pack in that regard. This year they're hitting .233 with runners in scoring position. That's 9th best in the National League.
Shallow left field, and Junior Lake will glide in and make the catch.
I mean, there are good hitters and they're guys that are going to have a good approach all the time, and that pays off whether there's somebody on base or not. So when you put your club together, you may identify, I want a bunch of high average line drive hitters, and in a given year they may be able to put up that kind of an outlier season, but there's a fair bit of good fortune that's going on there too. They did. They had a great offensive club last year, and they hit for a high average. They did not hit a lot of home runs.
Peralta's their hottest hitter. 9-game hitting streak. He's hitting .151 through April 24th, but .356 since. Should be an easy play for Scherholtz. Let me throw a little wrinkle into the festivities here. Based on the green stuff that I see on my computer, it looks like it is going to rain, and it's going to rain a lot. It's going to rain for a while at some point tonight.
Are you sure you're not looking at Chicago on your radar?
I wish I were.
I know they're getting whacked.
So it'd be nice to get through 5.
Yes, it would.
That's number 1. But you also don't play the game like it's a 5-inning game. And then we had the interruption the other night where the 2 starting pitchers did come back. A little over an hour of a delay in Atlanta. We certainly would hate to lose Travis Wood if we have a delay here anytime soon. It's still probably a while away. So hopefully quick outs from the Cardinal bats tonight.
Well, when Travis is on his game, he works quickly. He's capable of holding up his end of the bargain.
That'll be a foul ball past first.
Matt Holliday against Travis Wood has had plenty of looks at him. 8 out of 29 with a couple of long ones. Typically they try to pound him in. That's a good pitch.
Called strike 3. That's exactly what the Cubs needed. A nice 1-2-3 start from their pitchers. So after 1, it's 4-0 Cubs.
Lead over the Cardinals. Get your tickets to the party of the century during the next homestand. The Cubs will celebrate with music, food, and fun giveaways reminiscent of the 1930s. For more information about the 30 celebration, visit WrigleyField100.com. Brewers and Yankees are in for 5. Get your tickets at Cubs.com.
Darwin Barney hits one out into deep center. Borges back on it. He gets to the track and he makes the grab. He can really move out there. Terrific defender at center.
They're going to probably shortened up and swung around the other way for Darwin Barney, so a long way to go for Borges as Barney pulls this one with authority. Darwin's had good at-bats here lately, but good closing speed for the center fielder. Stays in the park. He's likely going to run it down.
Travis Wood, 7 career home runs. Fair ball, what a play as Carpenter stabs it. Safe at first. Wood helping Will Little make the call down there after he got through the bag. And that's an infield hit.
Yeah, how many pitchers could do this? Get out an infield hit, sharply hit. But I'm going to say 94.7% of all pitchers in the league are out. Travis Wood, however, is safe. Maybe a little high stepping afterwards, too.
Bonifacio started the game with a double, later scored on a passed ball. Cubs and Cards have each won 3 in this season series. Ground ball base hit into left.
And I'm not convinced that he could, but I'm not convinced that he couldn't be an everyday player, Travis Wood. Not at this point, but have gone that route when he was younger.
Yeah, I'm curious to ask him. I guess an outfielder would probably make the most sense since he's a left-handed thrower.
Probably play some center field for you. So Lyons here is not really fooling anybody. There's been a lot of sharp contact.
This is on Junior Lake. Driven to deep left, and that ball will go for a home run. It's 6-0. Three-run homer. Don't want to cheat you out of a run there, Junior. 7-0.
As I was saying, Lyons is giving up a lot of hard contact. There's an exclamation point delivered by Junior Lake on a hanging breaking ball. Ooh. Boy, pretty swing. Ford home run replay. Breaking out that Ford home run replay in back-to-back innings after a quiet weekend in Atlanta. A lot of noise here early in St. Louis.
So Alt and Lake with the home runs. Well, you're right. A lot of hard contact here early on. There's a ground ball to Carpenter, the third baseman, basically playing short. 7-0 here in the second. Castro, he tripled home a run in the first. Castro lifts to right. This will end the inning. Craig makes a catch. Junior Lake, 3-run shot. And the Cubs have stretched their lead to 7 after just an inning and a half here in St. Louis.
bottom of the second. They come out and celebrate the party of the century. Every Sunday is Kids Sunday at Wrigley Field. This Sunday, it's a 1:20 game, and the Cubs take on the Brewers. First 5,000 kids 13 and under will receive a Cubs Viewmaster. Well, that's really cool. This is the third of 10 Cubs retro toy giveaways. After the ball game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will have the opportunity to run the bases. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Well, these are kind of fun. The Cubs have played 36 games. That was before tonight. In the first 2 innings tonight, they have outscored themselves in 30 of those other 36.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of the game they had in Chicago against the Sox when they put 12 on the board. So they've had these outliers, these big explosions, and now they just got to try to find some consistency. But tonight, boy, it's been impressive.
0-2 on Craig. Big story in baseball today. Jose Fernandez with an elbow injury. The ace of the Miami Marlins, Juan Rodriguez, who covers the team for the South Florida Sun Sentinel, tweeting that a source tells him the Marlins are anticipating that Fernandez will have to have season-ending surgery. That is a huge blow. Called strike 3 to get Craig. Back to back of the looking variety after he got Holiday to end the first.
Yeah. See what Alan Craig does here. Boy, look at their Menards pitch track. Down in the strike zone, and Craig clearly was looking for something else. Hey, where's that cutter in? The scouting report probably told him, look in.
Molina had a game-winning 2-run single in the 9th on May 4th as the Cubs avoided a sweep at Wrigley Field. He just snapped an 0 for 15 with a couple of hits last night in Pittsburgh.
He usually does well against Travis Wood. He's a .400 hitter against Travis, 12 out of 30 with 3 long ones. Cutter in. That's pitch number 16 for Travis, 13 for strikes. So he's gotten this big lead, and he's coming right after these Cardinal hitters.
It's out of play. Huge crowd tonight. Whatever Cub fans are in the ballpark, they're having a lot of fun. But most of the people you see in this shot wearing red, not so much. A 1-2 on Molina. They'll shoot this one out into left center, and the Cardinals have their first hit.
No surprise it comes from Molina, given those numbers we looked at just a moment ago.
Bring up Matt Adams, who has cooled off a bit after a big start. Comes a 1-strike offering. And it'll be Lake and left to make the play. Travis Wood coming off of his worst career outings. Gave up 8 runs, tying a career high against the White Sox. Tonight, getting a ton of run support. Hopefully, will help him cruise along.
Yeah, he walked 5 in that ball game, and he didn't use it as an excuse afterwards. But it was a pretty tight zone that night. He got pinched a lot. He didn't pitch well either. Gave up 8 hits. His previous road start in Milwaukee, he allowed 5 runs in 5 2/3. So he's looking to reverse that trend. He's not enjoyed a whole lot of success in this ballpark. It was against the Cardinals at home back on May 2nd. Here at Busch, he was 1-3 in 5 starts with an ERA just below 5.
Beat Adam Wainwright that afternoon. 3-0 on Borges. And Wainwright will go tomorrow against Jake Arrieta. The pitch. Strike called. Borges struggled early. Lost some playing time to John Jay, but now has started 5 of their last 7 games. Borges was born in Park Ridge, so I would say he grew up in Chicago. He was there about the first 6 years of his life. His parents are from Chicago. His dad, Chris, to Gordon Tech. A cup of coffee with the Giants as an outfielder back in 1980. So Chris played with Bob Brenly in the Giants system, and their sons, Peter and Michael, respectively, played high school ball together at Notre Dame Prep in Scottsdale.
It's a small world.
It is. The pitch, high, ball 4. Nice note from Eden Trop, watching us from San Diego tonight. One strike on Mark Ellis, the second baseman.
It's just not had a lot of playing time. He was hurt early in the year. Well, typically you get a big lead like this, and the thinking is, well, you don't start to kick the ball around, you don't walk a bunch of people, pretty good chance you're going to win the ball game, especially against a club like the Cardinals who don't hit a lot of home runs. And if you're in the home dugout, you're thinking, boy, we get these opportunities, we got to take advantage of it. Somebody needs to hit one in the alley or over the wall with a couple of men on base to get back in the ball game. Travis Wood thought he had the outside corner. Take a look on pitch tracks. Yeah, he probably did. That was in Travis's last start that Ricky Renteria got ejected in that game against the White Sox. He thought his pitcher was getting squeezed, and then Anthony Rizzo got rung up on a couple questionable calls. He got into it with the home plate umpire and spent the rest of the night in the clubhouse. Looks to me like he's committing more to his four-seam fastball here tonight, not throwing as many cutters. He's throwing more four-seamers and two-seamers that'll move away from the right-handed hitters.
Base hit left field. Molina is going to be sent by Jose Oquendo, and the ball goes all the way to the wall. Past Junior Lake. They're going to get 2 runs. Ellis to third. Boy, Junior just whiffed on it. Thought he might have had a play on the slow-running catcher, and instead they get 2.
They get 2, and Ellis gets to third base. It'll be a single and a 2-base error. We've talked a lot about it this year with Junior, and some of the younger guys understanding the game situation, when to have a sense of urgency and try to make a hero play, and when just to kind of make the routine play. And he's prone to trying to do a little too much too often. We've seen good Junior and bad Junior, and that's just the nature of his game right now. He's very strong, raw, he has speed, he has power. Kind of, quote-unquote, light the room up at times, and at other times you kind of scratch your head and say, why?
One and 2 on the pitcher, Lyons. Swing and a miss to end the inning, but the Cardinals get a couple. So the Cubs lead still pretty healthy. It's a 5-run advantage after 2 innings. For you now to tweet your photo using hashtag NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear later on in tonight's broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. A wild and wacky first 2 innings. Cubs lead 7-2. Mike Alt, who had a 2-run opposite field homer in the first inning, takes ball 1. There is an adage in this game about knowing how to lose if you're a manager. And that's probably not the easiest thing in the world to do. Now, Mike Matheny's not sitting here trying to lose. But over the course of 162, it's a long season. His ult off the end of the bat. It's a high, towering fly out toward left center, and Borges will make the catch. But I guarantee you, JD, there are Cardinal fans in this ballpark or maybe watching the game at home tonight going, how can he let Lyons hit? He's down 7-2. He's got a pinch hit for me. Well, you don't want to kill your bullpen. In the back and far reaches of Mike Matheny's mind, he might have said to himself, we're not going to win tonight.
Well, yeah, you have to be realistic.
He'll never admit it.
Yeah, or you have to manage the game that you're given as a manager. Right now his club is down 5 runs. He's got to get some innings out of his starting pitcher. If he gets back into it and he's got a chance to drive in a couple runs, next time his pitcher comes up, he'll hit for him. But you can't afford, and I don't know what his bullpen usage has been like lately, but you make that early move to the pen, you're asking a lot. And then you may jeopardize your chance to win a ball game tomorrow because you have guys that aren't available. So most guys use their resources more aggressively when they're protecting leads as opposed to when they're trying to come from behind.
I know it was rare, but on the occasion you gave up 6 or 7 in the first 2 innings, you probably thought, oh man, I'm going to have to wear it tonight, right? Because you knew that the manager needed innings, and quality is always important, but sometimes quantity is more important.
Yeah, and that's the mindset you have to have if you're Tyler Lyons now. I mean, there's no way he can end up leaving the ballpark tonight feeling good about his night. That part of it's over. He's given up 7 runs in 2 innings. But
the ship has sailed.
Yeah, but he can go, well, at least, I got my team to the 5th inning or the 6th inning or whatever and didn't give up any more.
And then there's the selfish part of it. If you are a starting pitcher, you're going, well, 2 innings, 7 runs is really going to kill my ERA. 6 innings, 7 runs. At least I limited the damage a little bit.
I can score points for being tough-minded and hanging in there. Which, and I say that somewhat facetiously, but that's a legitimate point because it's tough to pitch when you've got knocked around like this. You wait 5 days to go out there, you're all jacked up, you get ambushed, you get knocked around, and you're thinking, oh my goodness. It's easy to kind of cash in your chips and say, well, I'll try again in 5 days, but he's got a job to do.
Popped in the left. Looks like Holiday will make the play, and he will. And Lyons does settle in. Quick 1-2-3 in the 3rd, but he still trails the Cubs 7-2. Comcast Sportsnet Plus for Blackhawks postgame live. Go inside the dressing room, hear from Coach Q, get the breakdown on Game 6. Blackhawks postgame live tomorrow after Game 6. Visit csnchicago.com for local listings. And the Blackhawks can clinch with a win tomorrow night. Matt Carpenter takes a strike. Top of the order, second time through for Travis Wood. Wood is 27, 5'11", 175 from Bryant, Arkansas. 1-2. Went the same draft as Jay Bruce, Sam LeCure, Logan Ondrusek for the Reds. Bonifacio back, and he's got it.
Pretty productive draft for the Reds,
yeah,
you'd have to say. Well, join the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation after the game at Revelle downtown this Friday. It's May 16th. It's the second annual Cook-Off for Cancer presented by Call One. Celebrity chefs will cook off self-inspired ballpark fare served by Cubs players. Ultimately, all tips and event proceeds will benefit pediatric cancer research, care, and support. It's close to home to that man right there. Visit Cubs.com/cook for information and tickets.
Peralta fly to right in the opening inning. Sharply hit grounder right at Starlin Castro. 2 outs.
One of those 2 runs in the second inning will be earned. Second one would be unearned.
Strike at the knees on Holiday. I think he thought it was low. That one definitely was downstairs, 1-1. So the Marlins were the feel-good team here to start the season, but they have lost 3 in a row. They probably now have lost their ace for the rest of the year. Can they overcome that? We'll find out. We haven't seen the Marlins in person yet. I believe we see them at Wrigley in early June.
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to suspect that. I think even with Fernandez healthy, they're a good story and obviously an improving ball club. I still think the Nationals and the Braves are the class of that division.
Well, I would say it's bad for baseball that we lose a.
All these guys, it's unbelievable how many pitching injuries there have been.
And Holiday has a pretty good eye at the plate, takes the walk. Second one issued by Wood. We mentioned it in the open. Holiday, only 2 homers. He's slugging .373. The lowest slugging percentage of his entire career is .488. That was 2004 with the Rockies. So, I mean, he has a very healthy volume of work. Cannot imagine that will continue. The power will show up.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, guys have off years, but he's been awfully consistent.
Base hit, right field. Holiday on his way to third. Picked up cleanly by Scherholtz. So a run will not score, even though it was a double for Craig. So that's the good news. The bad news is they have two in scoring position for you-know-who, Yadier Molina.
And this becomes a critical at-bat in this ball game as the Cardinals try to claw their way back in. And this is a nice job by Scherholtz hustling over to cut this ball off and saving a run for the time being.
Yeah, a 5-run ball game, you wouldn't necessarily think a third inning at bat would be labeled critical, but you give up a hit here, and all of a sudden, it's a much different ball game.
It's a 3-run ball game, and this place is rocking.
Not going to happen, though, as Molina skies to Bonifacio. Molina just putting his hands on his helmet, saying, oh, man, had a chance. But Wood gets out of it. 7-2. After the game at a Revel downtown this Friday, May 16th. Check that. Wrong promo. New in 2014, the Cubs Authentics Wrigley Field 100 collection from game used throwback jerseys and Wrigley Field 100 baseballs to autographed items from your favorite alumni and Hall of Famers. Cubs Authentics has the most exclusive memorabilia to commemorate 100 years of Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com/authentics for updates on the newest game used and autographed items.
You know, that Rizzo event, though, is so...
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's so...
on Friday.
Important and fun. It's worth mentioning at least a couple of times.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Darwin Barney, and it's a strike. It's 0-2 on the Cubs' second baseman. Wood and Bonifacio to follow. 5 in a row retired by Lyons after the late 3-run homer made it 7-0, and a base hit smacked into left.
Up in his eyes, and he jumped on it. Again, I mentioned this last time. He's been having some good at-bats lately. You know, it looks to me like he's maybe moved up on the plate a little bit and just being aggressive. Just not feeling for the ball, just turning it loose. This is a high fastball and more solid contact against Lyons.
Travis with an infield single. His first time up, and he squares early as Lyons will throw to first. I think Travis was saying to Lyons, look, you don't have to throw to first. I'm going to show bunt.
Yeah.
So just pitch. Takes it for a strike.
I guess that speaks to Wood's reputation with the bat, that they would throw over to check to see if he was going to bunt. Any other pitcher, they would just assume he's going to bunt. They wouldn't bother throwing over to try to get any kind of a read.
Stabs at it, fouls it.
Took the buntable one and went after the tough one. He's in good position. Just went after a ball that he had no business going after. When you set the bat at the top of the strike zone, and anything above it you should lay off. Very easy to say from up here. Not as easy to do down there.
Oh, what a job with 2 strikes. Great handler of the bat. First 2 didn't go too well, but the third time was the charm.
Yeah, it's a breaking ball moving in on him a little bit. That's a good look at it. Just trying to catch the ball with the end of the bat, essentially, but he has to change angle a little bit to get that breaking ball down. And such a good athlete. He's not content just to push that runner along. He's thinking about beating the play at first base.
Low and in on Bonifacio. Big night.
A lot of times
at 293, back up over 300.
Yeah. A lot of times you tell your pitcher, hey man, don't bust it down the line. Save your energy. You got a lot of important work to do out on the mound. Travis Wood doesn't really buy that philosophy. Said a number of times up here, he's a ball player that just happens to pitch. Somewhere in that conversation, I'm guessing the words, "you're better than that," were uttered from Molina.
Two 2-0 on Bonifacio. The pitch is sprayed foul off to the right.
Jamie Quirk said that to me once in spring training. I went to camp with Oakland. Jamie was catching it. Didn't make the club. He was pitching against Seattle. Kevin Mitchell hit like a 700-foot home run off of me. Some other stuff was going on that wasn't particularly good. And Jamie came out, "Come on, man, you're better than that." I said, "Well, I'm not so sure about that." So this might be all you're getting today.
Thanks, but I disagree.
Yeah. I mean, you got the best view of the ballpark of what's coming your way. How can you say that?
The 3-1 on the way, and a big rip there by Bonifacio. That's a 3-1 swing. You'll see him adjust pitch to pitch depending on the count, the situation. Decided to give it a little Raphael for call there.
Yeah, he's sitting dead red and decided to try to unload on one.
Ball 4.
Both pitchers have given the home plate umpire double takes on backdoor breaking balls like that, where they thought they brought it back to the outside corner but didn't get the call. Mike Matheny, boy, he gives you that steely glare. He can lock you up.
Lake out into right center and down for a base hit. Barney coming around third. Bonifacio's going to be stopped. Junior Lake's having a night. He's knocked in 4 with a home run and a double. 8-2.
Three-run home run came on a bad breaking ball. This time his first pitch swinging. It was a fastball from Lyons. He bangs it into the right center field alley. Was actually moving in on him a little bit. Barney waits just a second. And Bonifacio by this time is right on his heels.
Derek Lilliquist, their pitching coach, out to the mound. Action in their bullpen. Fornatero getting loose.
Here's a random Tyler Lyons factoid. This is straight out of the Cardinal press guide. Became the first starting pitcher in Major League Baseball history to throw 7+ innings in his first 2 career starts, allowing 1 run or less, 4 hits or less, and 1 walk or less. That was last year. Set the bar awfully high.
I would agree.
First guy in Major League history to do that.
Yeah. Infield in against Rizzo, second and third. Already leading 8-2.
Got to go into battle mode now. 2 strikes. Choke up just a little bit. Shorten the stroke like he did first time when he punched that base hit to left.
And a roller. Throw home. Got him. Peralta to Molina. And they did get Bonifacio.
Scurrying around down in the Cubs dugout taking a look at the video. Renteria will check with Bonifacio to see if he thought he'd beat it. Let's get a look. Safe. Don't know if they'll get a definitive look, but he looked safe there. If he got the back corner of the plate with his hand, it looked like he did. He's blocking the plate, too, by the way. He's not supposed to. I mean, you could argue that play. He's blocking the plate. I think they need to review it on that point alone, right?
He has challenged. Yeah, he did not give him a lane.
I mean, the throw took him there. He was trying to give him a lane. The throw took him there. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to interpret that. Right? Because it looked like he initially was giving him the back corner of home plate, but then as the throw pulled him inside towards the Cubs dugout, he took away any part of the plate that Bonifacio had.
Yeah, I don't think the lane thing is going to matter. I think he just was safe.
Yeah, there's that too, yeah.
Hand in.
Yeah.
Then the tag. Should be 9-2. And I think it will be. But I agree, it would be nice to know if that were a legal block, because I think you're right. He did not have the ball, and he was in his way.
Yeah. I mean, he was moving to make the catch. And that's where it's so difficult on the base runner, because at that point, the base runner is within his right to hit the catcher. But it's awfully hard to kind of think your way through all that in the couple of seconds it takes as you're running down the line towards home plate. A lot of managers have told their guys, just slide. When you come home, just slide. Very athletic move by Bonifacio to avoid the tag.
It also looked a little sloppy on Molina's part. He was standing pretty upright as he got that throw. So the run does score. Call overturned. So it'll be a fielder's choice and an RBI for Rizzo. Although I guess Molina did have to kind of go up. The throw was high. And I don't know, we can ask Yachty tomorrow. He may have been thinking about his footwork. You know, it's one of those things because it's new. Maybe he was in the wrong spot and kind of thought, oh man, I'm in no man's land here.
Yeah, well, it looked like he positioned himself out in front of home plate initially, like you should, and then the throw took him into the baseline.
So AT&T U-verse multi-view.
Well, if your job as a leadoff man is to get on base and score runs, and a tip of the hat to Bonifacio. He's done that 3 times tonight. Double single walk, and he's come around to score all 3 times.
Bounced foul.
See it all unfold here with the infield in. Bonifacio coming down the line. See, Molina's giving him the plate, and then he has to go out and get the ball.
Yeah, so that's the other question. If the throw takes you into the runner, that to me was kind of the way the rule read. It was a little fuzzy. If you have to go get the ball, you have no choice but to step in that lane. Castro strikes out, 2 down.
Yeah, I think they're working their way through replay, and I think they're working their way through that collision rule too, and interpretation of it. So, and again, there's the catcher's got to try to figure out what he's supposed to do in the base runner as well. Molina a little late to react to that one. He catches almost every day. They played last night. And this game turning into a lopsided affair, I wouldn't be surprised if Matheny got him out early.
Just to give him a few innings off. Strike called. It's 1-1. He is the standard by whom pretty much every catcher in the league is measured. Not only defensively, but offensively too. Among the elite in terms of catchers with the bat these days.
And there's a bunch of them now in the National League. It's become a very deep position in the National League. I don't know about organizational depth for each club, but the guys are currently frontline catchers in the NL. Some stalwarts, with Buster Posey, with Jonathan Lucroy, what he's doing. Wellington is, scuffled here lately, but he's on the rise.
And as I say that, Molina actually ranks 7th among all National League catchers in OPS. Carpenter will make the play. The leader right now, Jared Saltalamacchia with Miami. They get their 2 runs back that the Cardinals got in the second. Bonifacio scoring the second of those runs, overturned on replay, and it's 9-2 Cubs. Back at it here on Comcast Sports Net. It's Game 3 of a 4-game series against their NL Central rivals, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Wednesday at 7 on CSN. And we've got pitching matchups for you. Mentioned Arrieta and Wainwright tomorrow. Hamill and Waka on Wednesday. And Samardzija Lynn Thursday afternoon. Pretty good on paper. (9-2) for the visitors. The 1-0 to Matt Adams in the air. It's been a busy night for Lake both ways as he makes a catch. One down, it'll bring up Borges.
Function of this game could have changed had Molina delivered with runners on second and third in the bottom half of the third inning. He didn't, and the Cubs added on. So now you get to feel like that was their last best chance to get into this ball game. Down 7 in the fourth with a solid major league pitcher on the mound.
Shot foul to the right side.
What's the website with the win expectancy? Baseball Reference?
Well, Fangraphs.
Fangraphs does it. Let's see. Scores, win probability.
I don't know if this would be a good or a bad time to mention the two big comebacks by the Cubs minor league affiliates yesterday. The Iowa Cubs were down 8 and still beat Nashville 12-11. The Tennessee Smokies were down 6 in the first. Beat Jackson 17-13 as Borges strikes out.
Interesting. 4 strikeouts, 3 of them looking. Again, I don't know. They've been taking fastballs. That one, I'm guessing he just thought was down. Other times it looked like they thought they were going to see some kind of an off speed or breaking ball. Just couldn't pull the trigger on a fastball that caught a good chunk of the plate. 77% of all strikeouts are swinging. That's why I'm noting the fact that 3 out of 4 looking is pretty rare. It's going to hammer people with numbers tonight.
Yeah.
97% is the Cubs. Oh, it just went to 98%.
With that strikeout,
yeah.
probably. Yeah. Cubs have a 98% chance of winning statistically. Okay. Ellis retired on a flyout. And they go 1, 2, 3 on 8 pitches made in the fourth. Cubs 9, Cards 2. action. It's been a good one for the Cubs tonight in every way possible. Travis Wood, after a rough outing his last time out, has only given up 1 earned run. Junior Lake has knocked in 4 with a home run and a double. Anthony Rizzo keeps hitting lefties, and the Cubs lead 9-2 as we get into the 5th inning. And into the Cardinal bullpen. Eric Fornatero, a right-hander, along with Greg Garcia in a double switch.
Garcia in the 9th spot in the batting order. The pitcher will bat 8th. Fornatero has been in 6 ball games. No wins, no losses, a 3.18 ERA.
All right, in the strikes are sometimes overrated category. Lions threw 69 pitches in this game. 50 were strikes.
Yeah.
9 ended up hits. 2 ended up in the seats.
Yeah, and he can't. He's has a relatively modest fastball. He's not a real hard thrower. Doesn't have great movement.
It's Carpenter to get Castillo.
And you just can't afford to be out over the plate as much as he was and expect good things to happen. Sometimes you get away with it. You get a lot of atom balls and you move through a lineup quickly, but sometimes it catches up to you, and that's clearly what happened here tonight. He really wasn't able to establish any of his secondary pitches either. He threw one good breaking ball, then a bad one, and it's tough when you're young and you get ambushed early like that. Kind of get knocked back on your heels.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Sherholtz lifts it foul out of play. Fornatero, born in Houston, Texas, went to high school in Richmond, Virginia. Pensacola Junior College, Miami-Dade Community College. A bouncer to the second baseman, Garcia, 2 outs.
And a lot of players come through that Miami-Dade program through the years. 6th-round pick of the Cardinals in June of 2008. Good swings for Barney tonight. Deep drive to center that Borges tracked down for an out, and then a solid line drive single last time up. He fights to claim more playing time.
So Miami-Dade. Kurt Bavacqua, Alberto Castillo, John Cangelosi, Warren Cromartie, Lenny Harris. It's a long list. Jamie Navarro, Mike Piazza.
Now, is that kids that signed out of Miami-Dade? Because there may have been guys that went to Dade and then transferred to a 4-year school and went out and played as well.
They went there at one point.
All guys went there at one point.
Placido Polanco, Odabe McDowell.
Odabe Young again, McDowell.
Tom Foley. Popped him up. And it's Adams on the infield apron to end the inning. Bottom of the 5th. All Cubs tonight in the opener, 9-2.
Cardinals here as we head to the bottom half of the fifth. This Saturday, the Cubs take on the Brewers, 1:20 start time. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Cubs umbrella, compliments of Morton Salt. Boy, I bet you could use that tonight. Tickets are still available, so visit Cubs.com today. When it rains, it pours.
Don't say that.
I'm just
Although we're 3 outs
Chicago,
away from
yeah.
it being official here.
Whacked in Chicago. And we're going to get some later on tonight, yeah, for sure.
Greg Garcia just came into the game. He'll lead off the bottom of the fifth.
Garcia profiles as a guy who probably will end up being a pretty good utility player. Can move him around the diamond, has a decent bat. Just throw a couple right down the middle here. Get back in this at bat if you're Travis Wood. Whoop.
Put him in the wallet instead.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. You know, you're 3-0 and you know you have to throw a strike and you kind of just try to guide it and then you don't finish the pitch. You goose it up there. Quick visit from his catcher and reset. Happy birthday to the great Yogi Berra, St. Louis native. Yogi turned 89 today. They called him Lottie when he was a kid. Lawrence Peter Berra.
Fly to left. Junior Lake will make the grab. You mentioned Yogi's birthday. Let's go back to another great moment on May 12th in Cubs history.
That's a fly ball. Beat the left. Back. That's it. That's it. Hey! He did it. Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats and left. The ball tossed in the bullpen. Everybody on your feet. This is it. Whee! Ernie Banks off Pat Jarvis, May 12, 1970.
Jack Brickhouse with the call of Ernie's 500th.
I think on the next Cub home run, you have to go, whee! Hey, hey!
Great home run call. One strike on Peralta. Runner at first, one out. And he gets hit.
Castillo out to visit him yet again. And now here comes Chris Bosio. I don't know if something was going on with Travis, if they're concerned about something or not. It appears that just, a couple pitches got away from him, but 3-0 on Garcia before he hit him, and now he hits Peralta. Certainly understandable in a lopsided game that a pitcher's focus might wobble a little bit.
Others celebrating May 12th birthdays. Lance Lynn, who will pitch on Thursday, turns 27.
Felipe Alou.
Yep. In 1935, Kevin Bass, Lou Whitaker. Cut and miss by Holiday.
Not comfortable with the sign. Thought he had it, but decided he wanted to throw something else, asking Castillo to start over again.
Two pitches, two swings and misses.
Just showing a little runner here off the outside corner. Wants to stay away from the middle of the plate with Holiday up there. Careful there. He's good, as I mentioned before. Middle away, Holiday is really good. Most guys try to jam him. But understand Travis's hesitancy to do that because you just don't want to make a mistake over the middle of the plate with a guy like Holiday with a couple men on base.
Fair ball. Garcia in. Peralta to third. Holiday with a double. So that power, an extra base power, although it was a ground ball.
And I think just a case of Holiday willing to take what Travis was going to give him. You know, he stayed away, and it looked like at least one of those swings Holiday was trying to go out and hook one, but now we're just willing to shoot it the other way. Got those big long arms extended.
Side to Craig. 6-run ball game now. With some strong arms. Strong everything.
Strong human being.
One and one on Craig. Holt's got to make a play. Wow. He got him. A lot of indecision there from Mike Holt. He did get an out. He had a pretty easy play, it appeared, on Peralta at the plate. But ultimately getting it out is what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened. Just locked up here.
Yeah, he's like a quarterback going through his progressions, right? Looking downfield. And no, I'm not going to go to that guy. I'm going to throw to this receiver over here. Yeah, well, and that's what happens. You know, he's made a couple mistakes already this year. You know, just feel for the game type stuff, young player type stuff. And I think he got caught there because in the back of his mind, he probably told himself, ball hit to me, I'm just going to first base. Well, the ball's hit to him, and he sees that guy going down the line. He knows he's got an easy out at home as well. So that causes the hesitation. And ultimately, he goes back and hits his tight end out there in the flats. So 9-4. And all the while, if you're Travis Wood, you're thinking, man, I wish you would have gone home with that ball.
One and 0 to Molina. Now, Mike's manager may say, I have a few gray hairs as it is, and what I have I want to keep on my head. One and one.
Yeah, and again, normally you're thinking there's just get it out, make sure you get it out. But I would not have faulted him for going home there because it appeared to be a pretty easy play. Molina's good here. His problem is they've only been here 12 times. Most clubs have played 18, 19, 20 home games. Cardinals the fewest in baseball.
Ground ball into center. Bonifacio's throw is going to be airmailed, letting Molina get into scoring position. And that illness that has infected Cubs outfielders needs to stop.
That can't happen.
It's just got to stop. These guys put capes on out there, and they're just not going to throw people out. You missed the cutoff man, and now you put Molina at second base.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again.
So 9-5 now, and another runner in scoring position for Matt Adams. There will be no error. Molina was going to get second, I guess, on the throw.
Yeah, the only error was a mental error, but they don't put those on the scoreboard.
Well, I think I can speak for coaches and managers, and you can probably agree. You know, physical mistakes are one thing, but the repeated mental mistakes and not kind of thinking about the situation, that gets really old.
Yeah. I guarantee there's a lot of head shaking going on in that visitors' dugout right now. A lot of frustration and a very uneasy feeling despite a 4-run lead.
This could be trouble. It's going to drop it. It's foul.
Do you think Ricky Renteria would take solace if we were to call down and say, hey, Skipper, just want to let you know that Fangraphs still feels that you have a 95% chance of winning this ball game?
I don't think he would.
To get through 5 to qualify for the win, sometimes that can be a little bit of a mental hurdle for a pitcher. A step off.
And Molina takes third. Not a huge deal with 2 outs, but something gets past the catcher, he can score.
Infield hit. Interesting that he would do it here in this situation, but we saw Alt way off the bag. Cubs rightly were not really defending that play.
Fly ball to left. This should end the inning. A 3-run 5th. Ooh, 9-5 after 5. The game vote now. Log on to Cubs in-game live on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Nine 5. Cardinals trying to hang around. See if the Cubs can keep pressing here. I'd like to think 9 runs would be plenty, but why not score 12 or 13 just in case? And we're only in the 6th. Oh man, really? First pitch. We got to do this thing too.
I
mean that's on purpose. First pitch after he hits 2 guys.
Yeah, and in a situation where there'd be no reason for Wood to be throwing anybody, he kind of shrugs it off. And I'm hoping this is a case of just a young pitcher being clueless, not realizing the situation.
I mean, he's throwing out too,
as opposed to Mike Matheny. Sometimes you see it a lot in terms of the decisions young players make on the field, and running the bases or throwing the ball, and we've seen it with pitchers in the past too that have just no feel for the game, thinking they have to respond to something that's not there. And if that's something that came from the dugout, wow, I'd be really disappointed in Matheny.
Bonifacio with a late swing. Don't need to be aggravated tonight, JD. The Cubs lead by 4. But the last inning has just been a
lot of things are unsettling here. Some of the baseball we're seeing.
Yeah.
I love Woody's reaction down there at first base.
I'll give him a lot of credit. I think a lot of guys would have started chirping at the very least.
And just from the baseball point of view, what a bad idea to put a leadoff man on when your team just scored 3 in the bottom of the inning to get you back into the game a little bit.
Well, intent is nearly impossible to figure out, but the coincidental nature of that particular pitch just smells bad.
And I'm the hardest guy in the world to convince that a pitcher's throwing at somebody. I always say, well, you never know. The ball might have gotten away. That one I'm having a hard time explaining away, though.
And a base hit. Bonifacio now on for the 4th time. He has already scored 3 runs. Great night at the plate.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his mojo back. This is the Bonifacio we saw from the get-go on opening day.
See, and the other thing for me to kind of stop some of this nonsense, and it's probably too much to ask for a fill-in umpire, Sean Barber. He could have tossed him, because if that doesn't look intentional, I don't know what is. You don't have to warn anybody. That handcuffed Molina. And if you do that on this kind of night, you know Mike Matheny's going to be upset. He's got to use more of his bullpen. Then maybe next time that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If umpires just say, no warning, you're out. Beat it.
Yeah, well, I do like this aspect of it, what the umpire did, that he didn't issue a warning. I think you're right. You could eject him or not issue a warning, and that way, if Travis Wood feels like he has to retaliate at some point in the ball game, he can take a shot without that warning being out there. Or at least you don't put that cloud over the game. And, I think it's just a young kid that kind of doesn't get it, doesn't understand, and maybe figured he's going to score some points at his own clubhouse.
Well, the other way to get back at him is to score like 4 runs this inning and put this game out of reach for good, because it's gotten just a little too close for Ricky Renteria's tastes after a 7-0 lead in the second. Fly ball to right. Wood's going to tag as Craig makes the catch. Bonifacio tags, but throw goes back towards second. First and third. Well, how about Junior Lake? The 2 at-bats that resulted in outs, he moved a runner from second to third with no outs. That was the first out of the inning. And then the homer and the double.
Yeah, good solid night at the plate for sure. Another RBI opportunity for Rizzo now, who got one on a fielder's choice last time up. I just get the sense that Yachty does not want to be back there tonight.
Two and 0.
Big chance coming here for Rizzo. Fornatero challenges him with a fastball. If he does, it might end up in the Cardinal bullpen.
Held up on the swing and took it for ball 3. Line foul by a few feet down the line. 3-2. Runner goes, and a ball hit out into right center. It'll be caught by Borges. Bonifacio will have to retreat. Wood's going to score. It's 10-5. Sac fly for Anthony Rizzo. Music a little early. Inning's not over yet.
A really good at bat there by Rizzo. He kind of went out of his game just a little bit on the 3-0. He took a big swing at a pitch that was down and away, but understandable on 3-0 that he was looking to inflict some damage. Hit the 3-1 fastball hard and then hung in there and put a good swing on that final pitch.
Band was ready to play. Runner at first, a run in, and they pitch out. Bonifacio was not on the move.
Those never stop improving. Starlin Castro since April 25th, since he's moved into the cleanup spot. Putting up good numbers, 293, 3 long ones, an OPS of 894. I would not argue that he is responding to being put in the cleanup spot. I think it's coincidental that he's batting fourth and swinging well. He's actually been swinging well all year.
Bonifacio with a pretty good jump as Castro swung away and fouled out of play.
Driving the ball a lot more than he did last year.
Another foul. This time Fornataro will throw over.
It's a wacky game we play here. Just looking at the Cub run totals for the last 8 days. 1, 1, 3, 12, 2, 0, 2, and 10 so far here tonight. And, you could spread out the 10 and the 12 a little bit, and they would have had a real nice week.
Bonifacio goes. That ball gets past Carpenter. Bonifacio's probably going to be sent. Yep, Gary Jones says, come on home. And it's 11-5.
Boy, that Castro is really responding to batting in the cleanup spot. 2-base hit and an RBI for Starlin Castro. Carpenter hugging the line a little bit. Comes up empty on that sharp one hopper off the bat of Starlin Castro. Bonifacio moving with the pitch. Cruises on home for the 4th time tonight.
And it's the 4th multi-run inning for the Cubs tonight. And assuming the first pitch of the inning did not just, quote, get away from Fornataro, he probably would have gotten out of the inning with no runs had he not hit Wood. But he did, and the Cubs scored twice. And it's 11-5 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
enjoy sunshine, baseball, and all you can eat and drink at Wrigley Field this summer, the Budweiser Patio is the place for you. Bring your best guests inside the ballpark this season. For more information and to purchase tickets for the 2014 Cubs season, call 773-404-4200 or visit Cubs.com/suites. Suites. The Patio. Bring your group. Drink lots, eat lots, have fun. These guys are talking after the inning. That's Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, and Fornataro, his pitcher. And I don't know if they're discussing the pitch that hit Travis Wood. Could be discussing any number of things, but I would not be surprised if that was the topic.
The 1-0 to Borges is wide. It's 2-0.
Yeah, I think what happens sometimes in a pitcher in this situation where you've got a lot of run support and you start broadening your focus as opposed to narrowing your focus, if that makes any sense. When you're in a tight game, you're one pitch at a time, you're really zeroed in on the target, and a lot of times in a game like this, you start thinking in terms of don't walk this guy, don't let this happen, don't make a mistake, and you just don't execute your pitches the way you do when you're thinking more narrowly. Fastball down and away, boom, hit my spot.
It's going to hold up for Scherholtz. Borges lines out. Joey Butler will hit for Fornataro. Recently brought up from the minors. Contract selected last Friday from AAA Memphis. Got him on waivers from Texas last October. Seth Maness will get the 7th.
And Butler had a little bit of time with the Rangers last year, 12 at-bats, appeared in 8 games. Hit .291 down at Round Rock, Rangers AAA club. Decent power numbers throughout his minor league career. Hit 20 home runs one year. That was 2012 with Round Rock.
By the way, if we were to get into the quality win-loss department, unfortunately, Travis tonight could not qualify for the quality win. And by the way, assuming for the moment that he does win this game, ball 4, it would be the second cheap win of his entire career, meaning he doesn't give you a quality start in a win.
So he gets a win, but he did not meet the requirements of at least 6 innings and 3 or fewer earned runs. So we're calling this a LEN, that differential between the cheap win and the
tough loss.
Yeah,
tough loss is a quality start and you lose. Here's Garcia, hit by a pitch, scored a run in the 5th. In fact, the 2 hit batters by Wood in the 5th both scored. Kind of helped get the Cardinals at least briefly back into the game. So in other words, what's happening right now hasn't happened much. And that is Travis Wood giving up a bunch of runs, but getting a lot of run support. Ground ball to Castro, the shortstop. He will flip to Barney. Relay late. Slow developing as the ball was not hit terribly hard.
Yeah, it looked like Starlin laid back on it a little bit. He waits back, gets the convenient hop, but in so doing, they're not able to get the double play.
So I wrote about the quality win, quality loss in the Daily Herald today, and free to check it out. I put a link on my Twitter. But the one thing I wanted to note is your former teammate Nolan Ryan in this stat that I had a little fun with was a really unlucky pitcher. He lost, 292 times in his big league career, but over 100 of his losses, they came in quality starts. He was really unlucky. As great as he was, he should have won and maybe won more and lost fewer than he actually did. And I think some people point to his record and saying, well, he lost 290 plus games. He wasn't that good. Well, yeah, he was.
Some people will say, barely a 500 pitcher.
No. And on the hands, Carpenter pops it up into the outfield, but it'll be the shortstop Castro to end the inning. And that'll take us to the 7th. The Cubs lead 11-5. We have our AT&T fan photo of the game in the future. Hashtag Northside fan photo. There's a nice shot. A couple of big Cup fans. And have it appear in an upcoming broadcast. Just send us a tweet. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Seth Maness comes on for the Cardinals. He's working for the 14th time. Sinker baller, when he's on his game, gets a lot of ground balls. So he does give up a fair number of hits. As you see, 18 hits at 14 and two-thirds. Strikeout rate is good for a more of a pitch-to-contact type guy.
Strike called on Castillo. A win tonight would get the Cubs to a 4-3 season record against the Cardinals, the defending National League champs, as Matt Holliday will make the catch in left.
Wellington Castillo and Nate Scherholtz, who's stepping up to home plate, the only two Cubs who have not reached safely, do not have a base hit yet tonight. Everybody else in the hit column.
That's a strike. It's 1-1 on Nate. Manus has a lot of sinker ballers do. He gets the ball, he's ready to work. Three and one. Should probably check on some other games. The Mets and the Yankees are matching up.
Ooh, that's a wild one.
Yeah, it is. There's a base hit. I was looking at the Fangraphs win expectancy, and I saw earlier as the Yankees were ahead 7-6 in the sixth. I think they had a 75% chance to win at that point. Well, they're trailing 9-7 in the top of the ninth. So there you go. 2 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, 3 in the eighth for the Mets.
Anderson, Chris Young, Eric Young Jr., Travis d'Arnaud all going deep for the Metropolitans. And the hits just keep coming for the Cubs.
Fourth hit in 2 days for Barney.
For the Yankees, Gardner went deep, his second. That's a wild one. That's in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium.
Did for Travis Wood as Chris Coghlan will bat for him. Six innings, 5 runs, 4 earned. With Travis Wood, Coghlan takes a strike. Mark Burley is 7-1. He beat C.J. Wilson tonight. 7-3 Jays over the Angels.
Sounds like a quality win.
Two runs and 6+.
Yeah.
Yes. ERA went up from 191 to 204. Holiday back. He's going to make the catch at the edge of the warning track, and the runners have to retreat.
Coghlan showing some pretty good pop the other way. Driving this ball the opposite field, forcing Holiday to retreat all the way to the warning track.
Well, the bad throw to the plate notwithstanding, it has been a banner night for this guy. See that the yellow diamonds? That means he's scored. So every time he's come up to the plate, he's gone around the bases. That's a really good night. That's a perfect night for a leadoff hitter. 4 plate appearances, 4 runs. That's your job. Slicing drive out of play. The stands jut out as you get toward the foul line. That's a pretty good seat. Feel like you are on the field.
Staring right in at the action. This is the kind of night where a manager and his coaching staff will make sure, though, to remind their players after the game, you should have done this. You should have hit the cutoff man. Hey, Mike Holt on that ground ball, just throw the ball to first base. That's why we got you playing back. You know, you really want to make sure you address those mental mistakes, maybe even more so when you win, because it's easy for players to forget about the mistakes when you put 11 runs on the board and you're feeling good about things. That's the touch of a manager. You know, sometimes you got to lean on guys when they're going good to make sure that they stay mentally focused. And sometimes you excuse a mistake or two on a tough night. You know, you just back off a little bit. Try to keep the mood light when things are going bad. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I think that mentality really works over the long haul. Hey, we did a lot of things right out there tonight, boys, but let's not forget.
Peralta flips. Garcia at the bag just ahead of Barney. And it's the 7th inning stretch from St. Louis. The Cubs lead the Cardinals 11-5.
For your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details.
Big crowd here tonight. The Cubs, I wouldn't say took the crowd out of it to start the game. There are certainly enough Cub fans here to make noise, but they got 4 in the first, 3 in the second. And fortunately have been adding on a little here, a little there since. So they lead 11-5, and now it's the bullpen for the final 3 innings.
Brian Schlitter, first man out. On for the 15th time, 2-1 with a 4.05. He's got 2, 3, 4 to face here in the home half of the 7th.
Peralta fouls out of play. He's got a modest hitting streak on the line, 9 games. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th. One is up and in. Tap foul behind the plate. It's a sellout, the 6th of the year for the Cardinals. 44,434. Why couldn't they have put 10 more people in? 44444 would have been a way more fun.
Announce that anyway.
Are you saying teams sometimes skew the numbers?
Well, I think a few here or there, not going to hurt anything. Brian went to Maine South High School. You know who else went there?
Tell me.
Hillary Clinton.
That's right, yeah. Wide for a ball. It's full, 3-2.
Dave Butts, defensive lineman in the NFL, made the 80s All-Decade team. Dave Bergman, former big leaguer.
Line right to Alt for the out. Bring up Holiday, a strikeout, a walk, a double, an RBI, and a run.
Cardinals have been on the road a lot, coming home now for a good long stay, 19 out of 22 anyway here in their home ballpark. The month of May, Cubs are on the road a lot. Home for 5 after this 4-game set with St. Louis. And right back out for a long road trip to San Diego, San Francisco, and Milwaukee.
Shouldn't speak without confirming, but I think the Brewers are going to get Ryan Braun back and lose Aramis Ramirez to the DL.
Yeah, I heard where Aramis was likely going on to the DL. Well, they've had some injuries to deal with, but they continue to play pretty good baseball. Pace setters in the NL Central. Walk-off win yesterday to beat the Yankees. 10 games above 500. 5 games better than the second-place Cardinals. Starting play here tonight.
Holiday swings and misses. Tagged out by Castillo.
What did Ramirez do?
Hamstring. Carlos Gomez also waiting to find out about his suspension. He had his appeal heard a few days ago.
I saw where he dyed his goatee pink for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I guess his wife dared him to. Said, "No, you won't. Watch me."
What part of her thought that he wouldn't do that? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
One strike to Craig. It's low. 1-1. Craig broke his bat as he rolled one to Olt, and he's thrown out. Schlitter with a 1-2-3 seventh inning. Cubs lead by 6 as we head off to inning number 8 from St. Louis.
Services on night and weekend games. The remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
New battery and a new outfielder. John Jay now playing left for Holiday. Tony Cruz, a catcher. At Neshek gets a swing and a miss from Junior Lake.
Part of the Funky brothers out there in the Cardinal bullpen. He's funky right, and Randy Choate is funky from the left side. Pretty good numbers for funky right. Neshek has bounced around. Twins, Padres, A's. Had some minor league time with the Orioles.
You are keeping score at home. Jay will go into the 5 spot in the Cardinal order. Cruz 8. And it's one of those moments where I think, you know, we have a really cool job when part of the stress comes from figuring out where to put the batter on the lineup card. It's not
where are they hitting? Where are they?
The 0-2, he got him.
The real stress of this job is trying to decide whether to make coffee in your room in the morning or go downstairs and get it. That's where the real stress is.
Which reminds me, Nancy, I'm told you make a great coffee. I haven't tried it yet. Do we have some? Yes. Nancy, our fine stage manager here in St. Louis, started brewing coffee before the game. I'm told it's really good, and I haven't tried it yet.
Well, it's usually Ross up there making the coffee. It's usually pretty strong. It's good. It's good day game coffee. You're going to be up all night, pal.
No, I could drink a cup of regular at midnight and fall asleep at 12:05. Can't do it?
No, it usually doesn't affect me too much. 69 on the changeup. You get the sense that in a lot of these at-bats, Anthony Rizzo standing in there kind of surveying the field going, should I or shouldn't I? Should I try to punch one the other way or just turn it loose? Been much more effective against that shift this year. But I think it's because he's been more willing to go the other way and up the middle. Didn't have to be
called. Full 3-2. Oh. 70 miles an hour on that change. Looks like he ended up shot putting it toward the plate. Just
kind of changed his arm angle, didn't he? Came up a little bit and turned it over. So these are fun guys to watch pitch, guys like Neshek and Choate, because it proves that you don't have to throw 96 miles an hour to survive in this game, but sometimes you do have to be a little creative, changing arm angles and quick pitching and whatever it takes. It's not like anybody can do it. There's a certain skill to be able to do this. I think there's probably a lot of pitchers down in AAA that pitch conventionally who are just a little bit short in terms of their stuff, that if they were willing to try this, they might find their way to the big leagues. Sometimes it takes, somebody from the development side of the minor leagues, a coach or somebody say, hey, look, we like you. We like your aptitude. We think you got a chance, on a lot of levels, but your stuff is just short. You're not going to survive in the big leagues with that 86-mile-an-hour fastball that's straight as a string. You're going to have to come up with something creative to get you over the hump.
And I think there can be real value in having a Choate and a Neshek on a staff like this with guys like Rosenthal and Segrist. You got 97, 96, 95, 96, and then 83.
And these types of guys you can run out there a lot. They tend to be durable. Let's take to the road to play the Oakland A's. Coverage begins at 8:30 with Sox pregame live, presented by Orland Park Toyota. Don't miss Sox A's tomorrow at 8:30. Check csnchicago.com for local listings. The first place A's. Ryan Schlitter with a 1-2-3 7th. The 8th belongs to Justin Grimm. He's 1-1, has an ERA of 3.38.
Facing John Jay. Just came into the ball game to play left for Holiday. So Holiday and Molina did a couple of innings off.
Thought Jay might be in the starting lineup tonight. He has very good numbers against Travis Wood. Look out. Mentioned it earlier about the Cubs' early run scoring kind of taking this crowd out of the game. They're checked out now. A lot of folks have left. And they were just playing that organ music trying to get people fired up, and it was like, whatever. Whatever.
Oh, 2. Base hit. All right, so here's a question. You've got a left-handed hitter coming up, Matt Adams. He's flied to left 3 times. Has anyone, a left-handed hitter, is the last time you saw a guy fly to left 4 times?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is
pretty rare.
I would say uncommon.
Ricky Renteria trying to tell Rizzo to play behind the runner there at first. Get in his pocket, so get right behind him, and then back off as the pitch is being delivered. That was the old get in his pocket sign he got from his manager.
Pulls this one to right. Scherholtz will grab it.
Yeah, I think he'd be more inclined to go to left against a left-handed pitcher, but Travis was out there, probably more likely that he would end up going the other way. Well, it's interesting. We had that play at the plate earlier, and I'm just seeing a headline here online. Tony La Russa saying that MLB looks to clear up collision rule.
Swing and a foul tip by Borges. 1 strike. What is there to clear up?
Well, searching for the kind of specificity. The password is in the collision rule, and we still haven't gotten it, but we're getting closer, Tony says.
You better hurry up. 4, 6,
about that next inning.
3. That's
We'll be
what
specific.
We call a tease.
We'll be specific when we come back.
It's the Cubs 11, the Cardinals 5. It's
There,
a while
there it
ago.
is.
inning.
Well, let's go back and take a look at this home plate play here in the 4th inning as Bonifacio came home. The call was overturned because the tag was missed. He was ruled out. The tag was missed, but we saw the replay and we started thinking, well, what about calling him safe just based on the fact that Molina did not give him a clear path to home plate? Initially, he set up in front of home plate, and he did give him that back corner, but as the throw came in, Molina blocked the plate in his effort to go get the ball. So the question is, and the question remains, is that a legal play by the catcher to essentially block the plate without the ball, but because he's going to catch the ball? And I'm reading this story here online and trying to get some kind of a clarification, and they talk about a couple different plays. They don't specifically, mind you, address the play we just saw. One involves plays where the catcher initially sets up properly to receive a throw. Then as he starts to receive the ball, sticks out his left leg to take the plate away. That's how catchers were always taught to block the play. Runners have been called out, and reviews have allowed those calls to stand. La Russa says that interpretation is about to change. Videos have been sent to all the clubs of a bunch of plays at home plate, and they're kind of showing teams this is going to be allowed, this is not going to be allowed. And the other play they're not going to allow is the takeout of the catcher on a double play, like the Cardinal game ended last night on that 1-2-3 double play. In the past, players could slide in and take out the catcher to prevent him from making that throw, like they do at second base. And what they're saying is on that play, the catcher has his back to the runner, and he's in a vulnerable position, so they're not going to allow that play either. So the takeout slide of a catcher at home is going to be considered a violation.
Well, also, when you think about he's on home plate or touching home plate, his foot is not really planted against the bag. So his legs, I think, are more vulnerable as well.
And there's some quotes in here from Mike Scioscia, manager of the Angels, and, of course, a longtime catcher who was famous for blocking the plate. And one of the big questions is when is it considered?
It was a base hit for Mike Alt.
When is it considered a play at the plate? Is it, as soon as the ball is hit to the outfield and there's a chance a guy's going to score, or is it when the base runner's 2/3 of the way down the line? And what La Russa's saying the interpretation he's leaning towards is when the ball enters the infield. So when the throw from the outfielder comes into the infield, at that point the catcher has to give the base runner a lane.
Well, I think the other part of this is just when you consider a tag play at another base, at any base for that matter. We have this slow-mo at our disposal now. Why should you be able to block with any part of your body other than where you tag with the glove, basically?
Right, yeah.
That would make it more cut and dried, wouldn't it? You just say you can't block with your leg or your arm or your head or your torso.
Right.
You can block with your glove if you're tagging him with the glove. That's it. See, the leg right there doesn't really give Bonifacio
forces him to the outside. And again, as the base runner, you're worried, well, if I run into the catcher, am I going to be called out for colliding with the catcher? So most guys, I think, are inclined to just go ahead and hit the dirt when they're coming into home plate.
So if Bonifacio there does the head first shoulder into the shin guard and either blows out his shoulder or breaks Molina's leg, that's not preferable either. And that's what I think baseball's trying to avoid. And thankfully, he didn't. 1-2 on Castillo. Randy Choate on for the Cardinals here in the ninth.
Yeah, and I don't know. Would the interpretation be if they ruled, they said no, he was out, he tagged him, but then they took a look at the collision part of that play? Could they say, well, yeah, we know you weren't blocking the plate on purpose, but the fact of the matter is you were blocking the plate because you moved into the baseline to catch that throw. Sorry, we got to call him safe. I don't know. But I think that's another one that needs to be clarified.
3-2. Alt not being held on. 6-run lead in the ninth. That'll be deposited into the left field corner. And well, he needed that. Now the Cubs might not have needed it, ahead by 6, but he's been scuffling, and he just I guess, quote, snapped a 2 for 31. He tries to get back.
Yeah, was it yesterday or the day before in Atlanta? He had one right off the end of the bat. This one solidly hit. He squares this one up, drops the head on it, and rifles it into that left field corner. So now everybody that was in the starting lineup with a base hit for the Cubs tonight. 15 total. With nobody out here in the ninth looking for more.
Sherholt's the batter, 1 out of 4, and he fouls back. So, talked about Neshek and
funky left.
And Choate, funky right, funky left. Thought it might be fun just to see them side by side, since what they do doesn't look like what everybody else does. Neshek with a 1-2-3-8, but Choate in trouble here in the ninth. Slings it in there for a strike. These are warm-up tosses, but just to. We've got the funk. The slingers.
Yeah, they call lefties like Randy Choate loogies. Lefty one-out only guys.
Fly to center. Both runners will tag. Borges catches. Alt scores. Castillo slides into third safely.
Never heard of a righty like Neshek referred to as a roogie, though. There's such thing as a righty. You know, they talk about lefty specialists. They don't talk so much about the righty specialist.
Darwin Barney into the gap in right center. And the Cubs now with a new season high with their 13th run. And also their 16th hit at 12 and 15 respectively last Thursday against the White Sox. That just so happened to be their last win.
Yeah, it's weird. They don't have many just garden variety 5-2 wins. Lately, it's been a matter of getting shut down or scoring a bundle. Darwin Barney, I think tonight anyway, his game plan has been never mind all this patience and waiting. He's been up there hacking. He has not seen many pitches. He's had great at-bats, 3 hits. First time up, he had a deep drive to just left of center field.
A strike on Ryan Kalish, hitting for Justin Grimm.
Did you ever hear of a 13-run pool?
No.
When I was playing, the coaches used to have a 13-run pool. And every day when they got to the ballpark, they put like a quarter in this jar. And they'd have to pick a team around the major leagues. And if their team got 13 runs that night, they got to take the contents of the jar.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then I think during the PED era, the jar was emptied all the time. But back then, that jar, the money would build up because you had to have the combination. Somebody had to have 13, and somebody had to have picked that club too.
First time the Cubs have hit that number all year. Kalish with a base hit, 17 hits.
Not a bad pitch. He just stayed in there, leaned out, and poked it into center field. I bet you, I'm just guessing, that somebody after the game in that winning clubhouse tonight will say, hitting's contagious.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I just got a text from Bob Vorwald. When he first started at GN, Lou Boudreau ran their 13-run pool.
Yeah, I had never heard of that. Learn something every day. Strike.
You gotta, it's fun. Have a little something else going on at the ballpark. A lot of people play fantasy baseball now. You worked up in Montreal with Marty and Jerry back in the day. Did you ever do the draft with them?
No, I haven't. Yeah. But miss those guys.
Yeah, they're really fun guys. And every game we worked up there, we would do a draft. Everybody throw $5 in, and you draft. So you have 4 players, and each person in the game would draft 4 of the players in that night's game. And you got it, single was worth a point, a double was worth 2, and so on. Walks were worth a half, stolen base was worth a point. And at the end of the night, whoever's team had accumulated the most points won $20.
The press box one is the no-hit pool. Usually after 3 innings, there's a no-hitter. You pull a number out of a hat. It's the spot in the batting order that will break up the no-hitter. 10th one is the no-no. Base hit center field. Barney's going to be held by Gary Jones, as you do when you're up by 8 in the 9th inning. What a night for Bonifacio. 4 hits, a walk. Eric Hinsky's just saying, stay hot, young man.
Yeah, not that easy. Good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a couple innings since you've been down here. Wow. As this continues, I just keep thinking about poor Jeff Samardzija. I'm thinking, come on, fellas. Give me 3.
Down the right field line, and it will land fair for Junior Lake. It gets by Craig. And 2 more will score. Barney, Kalish. They are pouring it on. 15-5. Junior Lake has 6 RBIs.
A big smile for Junior, and why not? What a night. Boy, these guys at the top of the order. Bonifacio on base, scoring all night long, and Lake picking up 6 runs batted in.
Five of the 9 innings the Cubs have scored, and in all the run-scoring innings, they've gotten at least 2.
If you're Woody, don't you go up to Jeff at some point and go, hey, they just like me more. It's pretty clear here.
I might wait. 1-0 pitch to Rizzo's a strike. Well, to borrow one of your favorite lines, here's the rub with Junior Lake. You get these head-scratching stretches of swings and misses all over the place. Bigger swings on 2-strike situations than maybe early in the count. Questionable decisions in the outfield. And then you get performances like he's had against the Cardinals. Pretty much single-handedly wins the game a couple of weekends ago with his bat. Tonight he's been brilliant at the plate. It's in there. It's just finding that consistency.
Right.
Cubs will get their 16th run. How about Anthony Rizzo? He has 3 plate appearances in which he has knocked in runs and doesn't have a hit in any of those. Fielder's choice, sac fly, and a ground out. He can get it done in a lot of different ways. And here comes Mike Matheny. He might literally be asking Randy Choate. 9th batter of the inning coming up. He's given up 5 runs. I think he's just telling him, look, I hate to do this to you, but I need you to get the final out. I've used too many guys as it is. It's the kind of inning where if you're Mike Matheny, JD, I think you're asking, do I consider a position player? You're not going to burn another reliever.
No.
But you don't want to leave the veteran Choate out there to give up 8-9 runs this inning either. That's a strike. 1-2.
Yeah, it's never fun to see a pitcher, on your own club go through something like this. I was with the Astros in '88 or '89. We played Cincinnati, and they scored 14 runs in the first inning off of us. A whole bunch of them off Jim Clancy. Then Bob Force came in relief.
Another base hit. With Choate's body language, he's just fed up right now. A 6-run inning, and I think that's going to be it. And JD, we're going to see a position player. I don't see anybody up in the bullpen unless somebody was throwing in the tunnel.
No.
Who's it going to be? Daniel Descalso.
Descalso's coming into the game, and he's either going to pitch or it looks like he's the guy.
3 hits, 3 RBIs for Castro tonight.
Yeah, sometimes when you're getting blown out, this is the best thing to do, just to provide a little comic relief for your own club. A blowout game. My goodness, what an offensive performance by the Cubs here. This is the loudest the crowd has been in a long time, just responding to Descalso getting this chance to pitch.
So we'll keep it here. All right, give us a repertoire of this new pitcher.
He comes right over the top with a 4-seam fastball. And then he'll drop down and give you a little 2-seamer at about 81.
Can't think of the last time the Cubs have faced a position player.
Got a nice delivery. I'm sure he did some pitching in high school. If you're Mike Matheny, I'm sure he's talked to Descalso, probably established him as the quote-unquote blowout emergency pitcher. And said, hey, just don't try to overdo it out there. Don't hurt yourself. There's a certain amount of pressure on the hitter here, too. You don't want to go out and get punched out by a position player.
don't see any pitching appearances in the big leagues or the minors for Descalso. And this is about the most interested the crowd's been in about 3 hours. It was David Ross who hit his first career homer off Mark Grace way back when, and Mike Alt off the end of the bat is going to make Daniel Descalso's career ERA 0. 17-5 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Of the year by far in runs and hits, coming against their biggest rivals, the Cardinals. And here's Hector Rondon. I'm going to do the math. Carry the 2 to 8. No, this is not a safe situation. This is the mark by about 8 base runners.
No, but there haven't been many of those lately. Save opportunities. He has not done a lot of work in recent days, so an opportunity to get back out there. John Baker is now in the game of catching.
There's Tony Cruz. .96, but missed.
Hector worked Friday in Atlanta, but he had had 5 days off prior to that outing. So just one outing in the last 8 or 9 days for Rondon.
Glad we're getting this one in, partner, with all the rain that we will be getting.
Yeah, we're going to get a bunch overnight, eh?
Yeah, I was worried it might rain.
How about tomorrow night's game?
During the game tonight,
there,
I was wrong.
We talk a lot about hitters, regardless of the score, not wanting to give away at bats. Good professional approach. Same thing for a guy like Rondon in this situation. It's a 12-run game. It's not a high adrenaline, a high leverage situation, not even close. But you go out there and you work hard. execute your pitches. Treat it like it's a tight game.
Yeah, there's something in the game called pitching to the score, and you might not nibble as much in a spot like this, but no pitcher ever wants to give up hits or runs, no matter what the score is.
Yeah, I think you're more, you react to the count. If you fall behind 3-0, 3-1, you're willing to throw a cookie in there. And he can be aggressive with this stuff anyway. Throws 97 miles an hour. But just because you have a lopsided score, you don't just start pumping fastballs down the middle from the outset.
Castro to Rizzo.
Matter of fact, relievers get very few chances to work on stuff in game situations. They get a little time down in the bullpen, but if you're ever thinking about changing a grip a little bit or, flipping up a curveball, this would be the time to try it.
Two. Get off the end of the bat on the ground. Alt with a nice play to get Garcia.
Cubs came into this ball game hitting less than 200 with runners in scoring position. That must have improved significantly this evening. Nice play by Holt. Good hustle, a little short hop.
I guess Descalzo did some pitching in college. Oh, I got to follow this. There is a Twitter handle called Position Players Pitching. I'm going to follow. Oh, I love it. And the avatar is Jose Canseco. This is beautiful.
That's great.
And the handle is at 70 mph fastball. And I guess over on the Cardinal telecast, they mentioned that Descalzo had pitched in college as Carpenter flies out. Cubs win. Cubs win big. 17-5 over the Cardinals to snap a 3-game losing streak. Get this series started on a very positive note.
Yeah, a lot of heroes for the Cubs tonight. Lake with a big night. Bonifacio up and down the lineup, guys contributing. Fun night at the ballpark for the Cubs. Mike Oakland.